Welcome to the Lead for Literacy Center's Explore the Elements video series. This series takes a closer look at the elements of the Lead for Literacy Center's framework. The Lead for Literacy framework is a guide to help school and district leaders navigate the process of evaluating, building, implementing, and sustaining evidence-based literacy practices within a multi-tiered system of support in reading. The Lead for Literacy framework includes 5 elements: standards, priorities, and goals, administration, organization, and communication, assessments, instruction and intervention, and professional development and job-embedded collaborative learning. In this video session, we will discuss important characteristics for providing job-embedded learning as professional development. Let's take a look at important characteristics to include when providing professional development and job-embedded collaborative learning. This diagram illustrates how the 5 elements of the Lead for Literacy framework work together to establish an effective multi-tiered system of support in reading. Professional development is one Lead for Literacy framework element within a multi-tiered system of support in reading. In this video, we will focus specifically on the characteristics of job-embedded learning as one aspect of professional development for reading. The view and guide for this Explore the Elements video series is available as a PDF file. The guide can be used for taking notes and processing the information included in this Explore the Elements video series. Throughout this module, please note the viewing guide icon, indicating that the information on this slide will also appear on the viewing guide. Please be sure to have the guide ready before proceeding and pause the video as needed to complete the viewing guide. The most widely used job-embedded learning formats include ongoing workshops, coaching, and professional learning communities. These job-embedded learning formats can be acquired independently, one-on-one, or in groups. School leaders are key in promoting a school culture of ongoing learning and teamwork. Indicators of success for job-embedded learning are: job-embedded learning is relevant, continuous, and connected to real-life issues. Job-embedded learning addresses a variety of topics related to reading instruction and assessment. Effective school leaders ensure that job-embedded learning opportunities are relevant, continuous, linked to real-life school issues, and focused on reading instruction and assessment topics. These characteristics of job-embedded learning help to focus the newly acquired knowledge and skills on teachers' delivery of reading instruction. First, job-embedded learning opportunities are relevant to the authentic work of teachers. Relevant learning opportunities align to the school's goals, standards, assessments, focus on reading-specific teaching strategies, involve engagement strategies, and provide time to practice new learning activities. Second, effective school leaders ensure job-embedded learning is continuous. Activities involve ongoing sessions that are designed to facilitate multiple strategies for teaching reading that address contemporary issues in practice, include constructive feedback, and are included in a continuous cycle of improvement. Next, job-embedded learning includes activities connected to real-life experiences based in the classroom. These real-life experiences are integrated into the actual workday during a designated time, grounded in day-to-day teaching practice like lesson planning, aligned to teacher needs like analyzing data and determining instructional groups, and designed for the transfer of learning more easily by emphasizing nuances in teaching reading content. Finally, job-embedded learning is specifically focused on reading topics for instruction and assessments. For example, instructional topics in reading may include understanding the 5 components of reading or instructional strategies used for teaching reading to students in Tier 2 and Tier 3 reading groups. Additional examples may include assessments topics like identifying appropriate reading screeners or techniques for monitoring student academic progress in reading. Please read each of the three scenarios with me and determine which of the examples are job-embedded learning and which are not examples of job-embedded learning. In their professional learning community, teachers analyze their students' test scores and discuss needed changes to their instruction, as well as needs for additional support and resources. If you selected yes for the first scenario, you are correct. Please feel free to pause the video now if you need additional time to read each scenario. A beginning teacher and her mentor read a case study of a struggling new teacher in another school. In the teacher's lounge, they discuss the similarities and differences between the school context depicted in the case study and their school's context. Although the discussion enriches the teacher's foundation of instructional knowledge, it does not provide immediately applicable practices for the teacher to use and on which she can reflect. The next scenario is not an example of job-embedded learning. If you selected no for this example, you would be correct. Lastly, fourth grade teachers meet with a lesson study facilitator to develop a science lesson they all plan to implement the following week. One teacher volunteers to implement it in his classroom first, while the other fourth grade teachers observe how it goes. After the observation, the teachers adjust their lesson plans based on what they learned and consider applications for other lessons. Yes, this last example is an example of job-embedded learning. This module focused on the characteristics of job-embedded learning, which must be relevant, continuous, and connected to real-life issues. Job-embedded learning must also address a variety of topics linked to reading instruction and assessment opportunities. Take a few moments to reflect on past job-embedded learning opportunities offered to teachers. Use the notes taken on the viewing guide to support your reflection. Then, in the viewing guide section called Next Steps, record 3 items that are going well with your job-embedded learning opportunities. List 2 quick wins or items you could easily change to improve job-embedded learning in your school. Lastly, identify 1 item related to job-embedded learning that you need to explore with more depth. Several research articles and sources on best practices in literacy and leadership informed the content development of this video. References on this list provide a more in-depth look at the foundational components of the Lead for Literacy framework. Thank you for taking the time to explore this element of the Lead for Literacy framework. We encourage you to watch other videos in this series to learn more about our framework and how it can help strengthen your school's multi-tiered system of support in reading. To find out more about the Lead for Literacy Center, you can visit our website at leadforliteracy.org and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. The Lead for Literacy Center is a collaboration between the University of Oregon's Center on Teaching and Learning and the American Institutes for Research. We are a partnership among literacy experts, education leaders, university researchers, and technical assistance providers with funding from the United States Department of Education's Office of Special Education Programs. Our mission is to provide technical assistance to elementary schools and district leaders that builds their capacity to improve teacher implementation of evidence-based literacy practices for educating students with or at risk for literacy-related disabilities. This video was produced under the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Special Education Programs. No official endorsement by the U.S. Department of Education of any product, commodity, service, or enterprise mentioned in this video is intended or should be inferred.